Welcome to the Midnight American. Thanks for joining us, guys. I'm here with Justin over here, working the booth, doing the switcher, all of that. He just got done telling me that he is doing pretty well now that he is off all of the substances. I mean, we're talking everything here, right, dude?
The hard stuff, the hardest of hard stuff.
Yes.
Caffeine.
Yes. And cigarettes, no cigarettes, no.
What if my mom watches this?
Okay, well, all right.
Talk about that.
Yeah, okay, so we can't talk about it because
yeah, no more. No caffeine.
They got to find out sooner or later.
No coffee, no beer, nothing, you know.
You know you're a grown-ass man now, right? I mean,
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
It's not like they're going to ground you. Good job on that, though. You know, staying off all that stuff. Dude, do not try this at home, kids. Okay, it's tough. That's a tough way to go, dude. No booze, no nothing.
It's like that scene in the Matrix when he opens his eyes like, why did my eyes hurt? It's like, you've never used them before.
My brain hurts. Quaid.
I've never used my, it's like.
And here it is.
My brain.
Dude, it's good to have you back.
Works
good
different.
to have you. You were never left. Pretty much the same. Except when you're buzzed, dude. We won't get into that. But anyway. So, I'm Ben. This is Justin. This is the Midnight American. We want to thank you guys for being here. And all that. Yes. And the old Ben. Same as the new Ben. And I'll tell you what we're going to not talk about today. We're not going to talk about student loan forgiveness or the Mar-a-Lago, what do you want to call it? Documents raid, all that kind of crap, that's all been redacted and all of this. There's tons of headline news out there. Go out there and read on it. Educate yourself, guys. I always say, be smart. Don't just follow along with whatever, the CNN's telling you or your little in-group. Go out and think with your own mind. Read these stories with a critical mind. And then, of course, the student loan forgiveness, which I'm going to say this. I will say this one thing about that, because we went into that, on last week. We were talking about it. But if they're going to forgive this debt, why are they continuing to give the loans? If they're trying to solve a problem just by putting a Band-Aid on it, but they're not fixing the problem whatsoever, what's this all about? What's this all about? I'll tell you what it is. So Biden wins votes. That's all I'm going to say about it. That's it. Just to kind of get the idiots out there that don't really care. They're just desperate. And they love the fact that they're going to get some kind of relief from their own debt. I get it. But damn. Okay. Take your debt relief. Go vote the right way. Jesus. This is, see what's going on.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't be just led along by the nose. And I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to talk about that crap. This is a show for artists, for creatives. Go ahead, Justin.
We'll vote for lower taxes so you can have the income to pay for your student loan.
Or offer some kind of
or go to work.
Like bankruptcy opt-out or something. You know what I mean? Yeah, something that's lasting, something that goes on, something that keeps, that solves the problem, more at its root. Then let's put a little Band-Aid over it and just get everybody excited about something so I can get some votes. That's what that is. Screw that. This is what this show's about. It's a little bit about politics, a little bit about current events, but mostly directed at people who are creative-minded and all of that. So I didn't want to get into that too much. But I wanted to talk a little bit about, just today, I'm going to throw the word out here, gratitude. Okay? Gratitude about life. Just want to talk about life a little bit. Okay? Because life is not about stuff. About fame and fortune and money. It's not about the person that you're seen with or the car you drive. You hear this all the time. I know I'm getting into all this little gay stuff that you hear, anyone who's talking about personal responsibility or self-development and talk about. But it's important to lead up to what the message needs to be here, which is your popularity, your fame, the clicks that you get, all of that. It's nice to get on something like a channel like this. But you know what? That's not what it's about. I want you to gain some benefit by listening to a show like this. That's what I want. I want you to gain benefit. So if there's nothing that you're gaining from this, move on. Click on. I'm perfectly fine with that. Okay, you should get on with your life. But it's about what's going on here and now. I always say live in the moment. Know yourself better than you know anyone else. not being led along by the nose and all of that. And that boils down to the main thing I wanted to talk about today, which is gratitude. Gratitude, because I am so grateful. I don't know about you, Justin.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you should look at your life. You have people that care about you. You have skills. You have work ethic. You have great family. I mean, all in all, you're pretty fortunate compared to a lot of people. And the gratitude that we can show.
It's my white privilege.
Well, we'll get into that a little bit here, right? Because you can't really be grateful and hateful at the same time. And you can't be grateful and a victim at the same time. Because victims are not, they're hateful. They're upset, right? Because I'm a victim. I'm being treated badly. So how can you be grateful? There's no way that you can, right? Mm-hmm. Without gratefulness, nothing else comes back into your life. I often compared it to, like, let's say when you get a gift from someone on your birthday or on Christmas. Okay, so you get them, you go out of your way, you buy them a gift, and they open it up, and they go, "Oh, okay," and they just set it aside and they open the next gift. What do you think?
I ain't getting you nothing next year.
That's right. You're just like,
that's the last time you get something from me.
You know what? Fuck you and your birthday or whatever it is that's going on, right? Mm-hmm. But if you give them a gift and they open it up and they go, "Oh my God, oh, I've been wanting this for so long. Thank you so much." What do you think? How do you feel?
Well, I would feel good, like I was successful in finding something that they like.
So you'd feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
You feel like maybe they appreciate it a little
bit. Maybe I'll get them more next year.
Look at that. And you know what? I believe, take it for what it's worth, but I believe that the universe works a lot the same way. When you are ungrateful and you hate and you're now, I'm not talking about hating people for doing something wrong. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about deriving hate in others and division and all of that, and seeing the world from a perspective of I'm not getting, everyone else is getting, but not me. And so you become unappreciative. The universe is not going to give, in my opinion, it's not going to give. It's going to say, "Screw you." That's it. And so when you're ungrateful, it creates disease, dis-ease. Okay, I'm going to use that little. See, I'm sounding very self-helpish today. Dis-ease and a hate for whatever it is that your particular situation is. And you should be grateful for whatever situation you're in, even if it's a destitute situation. Even if you feel like, I'm discriminated against and that person has some kind of privilege, to feel gratefulness for it all. For all of it is what I believe helps the universe be able to give back to you. And, artists think this way. I believe creatives, you have to see a higher purpose that you're drawing from, a higher consciousness, let's just say, that you're drawing from. And so when you see these stories that we talk about and current events that are going on, you pull something different from it than just the average Joe that takes it at face value. So personally, I believe life is amazing. And I'm incredibly grateful for it. I'll go outside at night. I don't know if you ever do this, Justin. And if you guys don't do this, you should. Every once in a while, take some quiet time. Go out at night and just look up into the sky and stare at the stars. And just see where you're at in the big spectrum of things, in the big scope. Okay? And how there's got to be something else out there. The center of the universe does not exist within you. Okay? It's out there. You're such a small part of it. So I'm out there, I'm looking at the moon and the stars. Speaking of which, we'll go into the first story of going to the moon. We are going to the moon. That's what they're saying.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
We're going to set up a moon base that's going to allow us to have a stop-off point on the way to Mars. I guess that's where it's going. I don't know why we want to go there, but I guess it's in the nature of all human beings to explore.
Elon wants to go there.
Yeah. I think that's cool. I mean, it's awesome. Again, looking at the world and just seeing how amazing, how vast it is, and the abilities that human beings can reach. I mean,
the sun's going to destroy this planet.
Sooner or later, we'll have to lose
5 billion years, which means it'll probably be inhabitable in 3 or 4 billion. So if we don't get off of this rock, then that's the end of it.
Yes, that's right. Well, because you could look at the dinosaurs. We'll get into that a little. I'll just mention that the dinosaurs died off. Ice age or an asteroid or something happened. Some catastrophic event happened. A little nugget of knowledge here that I learned was that you see these movies where they thaw out the dinosaurs and then the dinosaurs fight. You got the Tyrannosaurus fighting the Brontosaurus and all that. Did you know they didn't exist at the same time in history?
Right.
So that means that a whole species completely died off, big lizards, and a bunch of other big lizards completely evolved. I mean, that's how long we've been around, guys. Okay, that's kind of a crazy thing to think about.
It's like we're closer to like the last species of dinosaurs than like the first species of dinosaurs was to the last species of dinosaurs.
Yes.
Like there's been a lot of time.
I've heard that. Yeah. So what's the point? Well, species die off. That's part of the point right there. And we're just another species. And at some point or another, we're going to have to probably get off this rock. Go someplace else. And hopefully we've expanded ourselves out far enough to get to something that's worth getting to. Okay. I mean, I guess we should learn how to live on this planet. If this planet's going to become like Mars, we should learn how to live here. If there's no atmosphere, or
it might be far worse than Mars, but
that's the thing. Yeah, if we've got radiation,
non-existent.
Right. So it's an exciting thing. They're going to do the Artemis. The Artemis one was due to launch, but they stopped it due to technical difficulties. This would have been probably the top story, but. And they scrubbed it. I guess they're scrubbing it until Friday. So they're taking no precautions, or they're taking precautions. That's what I mean to say. And yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So we'll see. We'll be here. We'll see what happens Friday. I don't think we're going to do any more Friday shows. Whenever we do Friday shows, dude, nobody's tuning in. Everybody wants to come in on Monday. I don't know why that is, but anyway. Look forward to that launch. Look forward to them. By the way, this Artemis it's a test flight. So they're just going to circle the moon a bunch of times. They're not actually landing on the moon this time. And then I guess maybe next time they'll do that. I don't know.
The forgotten technology of landing on the moon.
The forgotten technology. Yeah, they say that the original space capsule, Apollo space capsule, that the modern day iPhone has more technology in it than that whole space capsule does. So, but somehow we're relearning what we haven't been back there in a while.
Right.
I mean, I don't even know how many people that worked on that whole mission are even around for this mission. I don't know. Anyway,
moving on.
MTV VMAs were yesterday. I did not watch them. Did you watch them, Justin?
Did not.
It's hard. It's hard because that all you're going to get is a bunch of woke speeches from all these people, and it's hard. They're ruining all of these award shows with this virtue signaling woke ass shit. So nobody wants to tune in. That's the problem. But I did watch some of the highlights. Taylor Swift got best long form video and video of the year for All Is Well, and I thought, okay, well, if we're going to do that, we got to watch the video. Did you watch the video, Justin?
No. Do we need to jump over to it?
No, we don't. No. The video to All Is Well, the Taylor Swift video.
Oh, is that what we're talking about?
That was what we're talking about. So you don't need to worry about that.
Talking about, we'll get to Johnny Depp, though.
Yeah, we'll get to that here.
We'll go back.
Okay.
I did watch the video.
Yeah. And what'd you think?
It wasn't impressive. I mean, it was a clean video, and it was about as far as it gets.
Yeah. It was kind of long. It was like 15 minutes long.
Well, it was like 3 minutes of credits. And it was like 9 minutes long, the whole entire video.
Right. Versions, there was a lot of versions, but I got the one where they have the couple that's arguing in the middle of it. Now, I will say something about that video just real quick, because, again, we got to talk about artists and creatives and all of that. We are filmmakers, and I did like the way that was performed. That little skit in the middle where they're having the argument.
Well, because it was
very
just all one take.
Yeah, well, and it just felt very authentic. The dialogue felt authentic, which you just don't get anymore.
I did think it was authentic because it reminded me of a lot of arguments I've had.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds the same.
Yeah, nothing felt forced, and I like that. I can appreciate that when you see some good acting at least. But
yeah, I
it did
thought the
go
guy
long.
was weak in the beginning, but then he picked it up as the scene went on.
He's supposed to be weak though. That's the whole point.
No, I mean,
She's really
the delivery of the his lines was weak. It just didn't seem like he was
Okay.
acting, and then his acting got better. Like a few
I got
minutes
you.
into it, as
Yes,
they kinda
yes,
got
yes.
the momentum going, and I think
well, he was acting removed at the beginning. This is told from a female perspective, obviously.
Obviously.
You know,
and it was
so-
all his fault too.
right, of course.
And he was the only logical one, and she was all emotional.
He's the one that needed to apologize at the end, bring it all to a resolve, and all that.
And
you
he
know,
did.
And if guys
He
would
did.
just
That
do
was-
that, if we'd all just cuck out and finally say I'm sorry to the emotional outburst, then everything would be fine. So no, but it was good. I thought it was.
What the argument was because he dropped her hand while saying hi to his friends that he hadn't seen in like years, because he got to give him a handshake or something, but he let go of her and she was all upset about it.
And he was like, I didn't even know I did it. That was so authentic. I mean,
Yeah.
damn. I can't tell you. I didn't know I did that. I did that. Oh, yes, you did that. It crushed my soul. It's like, God dang. All right.
But the lyrics, you know, they're just like any other Taylor Swift lyric.
You know, but all
You know,
men
we
and women.
dated and we broke up and I miss it and we get back together and then
And
broke up
the whole
again.
thing. Yeah, yeah. Trying to tell kind of a sappy love story for women. I know my wife watches these damn romantic comedies, and it's to death. And I'm forced to watch the romantic
well,
comedies.
it's just like that one
That's-
saying. It's like the old guy's like, oh yeah, dating the high school girls. It's like I get older, but they stay the same age, right? Well, it's like the Taylor Swift fans. She gets older, but her fans stay the same. So they all gotta be the same stupid content, like they've never heard it before. Which just goes back to like what we were saying the other day about these people who they're like, oh, the artist just came out and now that it's a new song, and it's like, dude, they've been around for 40 years.
Yes.
You're just now discovering them.
Exactly. What was the one? Sound of Silence. That one was done by a recent artist. I'm trying to think.
It was a
who
rock band.
Yes, and it was a good version.
It was.
You know, and I was talking to somebody, and they're like, "Oh, did you hear that new song, Sound of Silence? It's so badass." I'm like,
That song's like 30 years old.
"Are you kidding me?" Okay. It's like,
And these kids, they think they know so much. And it's like, you don't know half of what's going on because you don't pay attention. You're just on your phones looking at stupid crap.
no, you guys were the ones to come up with all of this. No one has existed
original.
prior to this. And her new album's coming out in October too, so that ought to get a few fans excited. The Taylor Swift.
But how did she
fans.
win? What did she... It's like, it reminds me of like those, you know what I'm talking about? The film festivals you go and it's like, you know your film's not that good, but then you win anyways. And it's like, what other films were in that?
In that category, right?
Was there anybody else contending?
I guess you'd have to watch the show. Don't they usually give little highlights of each one of these videos? I don't know, dude. I don't watch music videos the way that I used to. But Nicki Minaj got the Video Vanguard Award, which is the top prestigious, I guess, award of the VMAs. But I remember, my personal opinion of it, Nicki Minaj is, I'm not really into her too much. I know her music. You know, she's got some what's the one that she's got? It's Anaconda. Yeah, which is pretty much a ripoff. Well, you know, it's the first time that was ever written. You know, she wrote it.
I was at a party the other day.
What?
I was kind of DJing a party Saturday, and I played the original "Baby." I Like Big Butts, and then everyone wanted to listen to Anaconda, and I don't think they realized that was the original.
Oh, I love this song. Wait, is this a remake? Yeah. Is this a remake of Nicki Minaj's song, Anaconda?
Right. I was like, you play the original. This is his original.
This is the problem. This is the problem. He's like, we need original artists. We need creative people that can actually come up with something cool and original and different. They say that nothing is original anymore. And to a certain degree, I understand it. But damn, do you have to bring it right in our face and say, oh, no, I mean, really, nothing is original, you know?
Britney Spears and Elton John.
Yeah, well, we played that last time. If you want to check out the last show, we talked about the Britney Spears and Elton John song, their little duo. But the highlight that I found with these VMAs was Johnny Depp making a somewhat surprise appearance. Okay, I thought this was actually pretty well done, since they're still kind of testing the water a little bit with Johnny Depp, because the whole Amber Heard, Johnny Depp trial thing. So
if you don't know about that, then
then you've been
out of the rock.
Good God, yes, please come out and
join us
and see the sunshine. Yes, but this was so he comes out with this. Actually, you can play that video. I think there's a video here.
Right here.
Here you go. Yeah, do that one. Hopefully it doesn't.
I just want you guys to know that I'm available for birthdays, weddings, wakes, any old thing you need.
Good sense of humor, a little self-deprecation there. I gotta say,
it's funny.
It's hard not to like Johnny Depp, really, even during the trial and everything. Anything that he might have been accused of, which he pretty much was recused of, I guess, through that trial. The guy's something else. I mean, he's likable, but I think that you see him floating out there. He's the MTV Astronaut. He's playing that. I think it was just his face, like on a screen in the suit or something like. It wasn't really Johnny Depp, but it was cool the way they did it. So they're kind of introducing him back into the fold and saying, let's test it out, because everybody just booed all of a sudden. I mean, Hollywood's clueless to this stuff. They don't know. They think, have you seen these people that come out and it's like everybody boos them? Like, I think Anthony Fauci came out and everybody booed him. It's like, what? I don't understand. It's like, I don't understand. I thought you all loved me. No, we don't. We don't. Everybody thinks you're completely corrupt, and I don't care how much you act like you're a saint and write books and all of that. Everyone's hip. Okay, so they're testing the water here with Johnny, in my opinion, and everybody loved it, and he comes out there floating like an astronaut, which I think is pretty much what Johnny Depp's life is like all the time anyway. The guy's high as hell on. I mean, that's one thing that came out in the trial that we saw pretty sure. This guy's not a straight edge, okay? So yeah, he's kind of all the time. Yes. So, but speaking of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Amber Heard might be, this is not any video or anything like this, it's just something that I kind of scrolled across. Amber Heard might be replaced as Mira in the new Aquaman, because they were really concerned about that in the new Aquaman movie. That, she's pretty unpopular. And so, we're looking at a lot of money that's going to be lost if people don't come to the theaters and see this because of her. And this is a thing, and we'll get into this a little bit more, because a lot of this today is about Hollywood burning. It really is. And it's sad, because I'm a filmmaker. I'm pretty much a filmmaker first, and a writer and all of that, and then everything else, a painter and a musician and all of that second. So, and I hate it. I hate really seeing the direction that films and all of that are going. But so I'm kind of glad to see them going back in, saying, let's do some reshoots. Let's get her out of there. Let's just, boop, kick her on out, erase the problem. And they don't do that enough, I think, right now in LA. And again, I'll say more about that. But look, think what you want about Amber Heard. I think she's pretty smart, actually. You know what I mean? She's a psychopath, a little bit of psychopath, and definitely a narcissist, but intelligent, man. I mean, it's really.
I heard these narcissists are because of weak parents.
Yeah?
Yes. I think that's why we have more narcissists these days.
I don't know.
It was a Jordan Peterson thing, so
Okay.
that's where I'm taking it from.
It could
he
be
said
that
it,
that
it's probably
creates
true.
maybe a sense of narcissism, but I
Yeah.
mean, knowing some of the narcissists that I have, I've definitely seen some narcissism come from parents that spoiled the shit out of their kids, which is a form of abuse in and of itself.
Well, that's a weak parent, I think.
Yeah. Oh, it
that
could be.
is going to give them everything. They're going to bow down, and that seems to me that would develop a
Okay.
narcissistic mentality in a child.
Okay. Yeah, that's a point that could be taken.
It's all about me. I get what I want.
I get what
It
I want.
starts-
Yes, the center of the universe, revolves around me.
Mhm.
And, you're never, also only children who never have to share, and it can always be about them, never have to learn that, look, there's other people that you've got to consider in the world as well. But you see this a lot. You see this a lot in weak families. You see this a lot, though, in Hollywood, in a lot of this nepotistic, nepotistic, is that what that would be? Situations, where you're kind of, you got a silver spoon up your ass right from the freaking very beginning, or in a lot of these child stars that get out there and from the very beginning, dude, the child star thing that's a thing. Almost all of them turn out screwed up. Almost all of them, because you're really peaking at such a young stage in your life before there's enough development to really lay that on, make that a foundation there to lay that all on. And dude, it's always a problem with these child.
Yeah, did you
child
hear
stars.
about the I've never heard this before, and it sounds like maybe they just made it up because of the lack of movie going, but National Movie Theater Day.
No.
It's a new national day.
Are they trying to do it like they do with Christmas to get everyone to buy? And
Probably,
it's just like everybody, it's
everything's
a scam.
$3.
Okay. Yeah, nice try. How about putting some good content out? How about putting out some good stories with actors that everyone loves to go and see? How about put something out original that makes people curious? No?
That's a new
No?
thought.
No?
Never
Let's
thought
just
about that.
more gimmicks. That's what we're going to do. Okay. Anyway. So, but talking about these child actors and how they're completely screwed up. Shia LaBeouf, who was a child actor, LaBeouf, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
Never have really known how to pronounce that. Says he has cheated on every woman that he has been with. Okay, so let's read through this a little bit.
So if
Maybe
you've been
discuss
with
it. What's that?
So if you've been with him, he's cheated on you.
He's cheated on you, pretty much. Yeah. Well, he kind of goes into it a little bit here.
What's this ad crap?
He goes into it a little bit here. Check it out. All right, so it says Shia LaBeouf has given a candid 2-hour interview about his abuse allegations that have been made against him, admitting that he has been unfaithful to every woman that he has been with. Every woman. I wonder how many that's been. Child star. In December 2020, LaBeouf's ex-girlfriend.
I hope it wasn't that one girl that was in that music video of Sia.
Which you're gonna have to be more specific.
Oh, I don't remember the music video. Was it? I can't remember. It's a Sia song.
Okay,
They're
well,
like dancing in the.
why is she hot?
No, she was like 8.
Oh shit. Okay.
They did a music video together.
All right. It goes to show you I don't know what music video you're talking about. So
Maybe I'll find out. Pull it up.
the musician KFA Twigs sued him for relentless abuse, including sexual battery, assault, and infliction of emotional distress. So kind of the same kind of thing as the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp type of thing, except LaBeouf kind of changed his. Well, first he's saying no, he's not taking any. He says he's not taking any what do you call it, responsibility or anything. Go on down. But then he says, LaBeouf, I fucked up bad. Like crash and burn type shit. I hurt a lot of people and I'm fully aware of that and I'm going to owe the rest of my life. Let's not go too crazy, Shia. Okay. He said, unless you did some stuff, maybe. Now look, I wasn't there. I ain't walking in your shoes, but damn. I mean, if you're going to make a comment like that, my imagination's going to run, okay? He said he has a long list of people that I need to make amends to, admitting that he has cheated on every woman that he's been with and never told his sexual partners about getting cold sores. Cold sores, herpes, which he acknowledges was manipulative without many. Cold, I don't know, man. I don't even know how to take that. That's really weird. Without naming twigs, he said, I hurt that woman, and in the process of doing that, I hurt many people and many other people before that woman. I was a pleasure-seeking, selfish, self-centered, dishonest, inconsiderate, hateful human being. I mean, let's not be dramatic too much. Unless, again, maybe this guy, I don't know, man.
He's had his ups and downs, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Look, again, coming back to the child star thing, the guy has had his. We could kind of see when he was going off the rails. No telling what happened during that time.
It started like 10 years ago.
No telling what was brought into the room. You know what I'm saying? So when he thinks about where his life has become and what it is now, like what my purpose is now, just do it. Just do it. I need to be useful. And when I look at this Me Too environment, there's not a lot of dudes that are taking accountability. See, now, this I kind of have a little problem with, because now it's not about him. It's about pointing the finger at others. You guys need to do this now, too. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, I don't know what you did, but there's nothing in my life that I'm feeling like I need to go out there and account for on this. Has a person never broken another person's heart? Has a person never cheated in any way or let their minds wander or anything like this? I mean, he's starting to get a little bit pious and over virtuous here, I feel. But look, I mean, if he's feeling like it's like whatever's going on here, he's finally deciding to turn his life around, become a straight edge. Maybe he's going to stop drinking coffee.
Do you know why this all happened?
All that. I don't know what he's going to do.
Do you know why this all started happening?
Well, yeah, there was charges brought up on him that said from this woman saying that he had. We went through it here just a little bit ago.
Yeah, but no, it's supposed to be some film he did. He just made that was also.
Well, no, go down to the bottom. It's down. Actually, I think they talk about this here a little bit at the bottom, because they said, okay, no. No, keep going. Is it down any further than that? Yeah, because I think they're talking about that a little bit. Please join me. Maybe not. Okay, LaBeouf said he had not been interviewed he said, had she not been interviewed in my life and not created an avenue for me to experience. Okay, maybe it's not there. I saw that in something too, where he was kicked off of a movie set because he's just kind of into too much stuff. But, things that were, starting to get a little seedy. But I think the director said that she agreed with him, that that's the way that they would kind of pitch it out there. I don't know where I read that at. Maybe in this article, someplace else, but it doesn't really matter. If he's willing to go out and straighten his life up, more power to you, Shia. I'm on your side. I can give you a hard time about that and everything. You don't need to point your finger at everybody else. So you need to do it too. No. Just go and do you, okay? Straighten out the things that you need to in your life, and I wish you luck on that. He converted over to Catholicism, from what I understand now, so he's getting religious. That came from him being in this movie.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, so he's repenting. Sure. He's going and repenting for his sins and doing all of that. He should repent for that Crystal Skull movie that he did, the Indiana Jones movie where he played Mutt in there, because wow, that was a tragedy. Okay, that was a sin. That was your sin. That's the greatest sin I've seen you do yet. Go in and what do they call that when they go into the booth and they I don't know because I'm not Catholic, but they go in and they no, it's not repenting, but they Father, forgive me for I've said. What do they do there? What do they call that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. If you're not Catholic, I guess.
Confession.
Confession. Yes, that's what it is. Okay, he needs to go in and confess. Father, I have sinned, and Just lay it all out there, including being part of the Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Okay, you need to put that out there. Sorry, boy. I can only forgive you for so much. Okay, that one was a true sin. Gonna have to carry that one with you. The Invitation leads the lowest.
7 Hail Marys and
The 7 yes,
repentances and 1,000.
There's no going back from this one, boy. The Invitation leads the lowest summer box office weekend with $7 million lunch. This is basically the main reason I even wanted to go into this is, this movie is kind of it's showing or displaying where the film industry is at right now. Well, let's read a little bit. The Invitation is leading the final weekend of the August box office, which also happens to be the lowest grossing weekend in theaters that we've seen
since the weekend before
Valentine's Day. The Invitation is taking the number one with an opening of 7 million. That's terrible. Okay, that is the theater's tanking, man. And they were saying something like, what was it, that the combined amount, I didn't see, maybe this was in another article I saw, that the combined amount was only like around 50 million or something like that. All theaters of all movies. It was awful.
Wow.
Okay, crushing. Okay. And it's sad because, dude, I'm a big theater person. I didn't even like seeing the drive-ins go. Mm-hmm. But yeah, all of these, it's all these damn movies that they're coming out with that are just sad. They're all remakes or spin-offs or sequels. They're all woke and, trying to virtue signal to every group out there. And it's killing Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And, what are you gonna do? Look, you got to accept what is. This is what we talk about on this podcast. This is like, this is not a bitch session. This is understanding the world that we're living in and why. You ask the question why, guys. Ask. Think with your brain. Think with your mind. Why is this happening? Is it because the audience suddenly changed? No. It's because the content changed. The movies changed.
Yeah, look at this. Top Gun, its 14th weekend, does almost as good as the opening films.
That's because there wasn't a bunch of woke virtue signaling crap. Now, it was a sequel, but it was a decent story. It had action. It was fun. It didn't try to teach you some grand moral or make some bigger statement or try to call you a bigot or a homophobe or any of that. It was just a good, fun ride. Same thing with Spider-Man. No Way Home?
Yeah.
Okay, the final one. I went and saw both of those movies in the theater because they were worth going and seeing in the theater. You're going to get a different experience than seeing it on Netflix or whatever, And what's great about that is the audience reaction. Being able to be there and listen to people
laugh whenever.
Yes, and get excited and clap when someone new comes on screen. That where they know that they've been respected as fans. What a great time. But no, they want to make all this other trash. Let's go to the next article because I think it exemplifies a little bit of what we're talking about. This is an article that is taken from an interview, so it kind of paraphrases a little bit the interview. But let's go down a little bit. It's kind of the highlights, not paraphrasing, but just the highlights of the interview. Okay. And this is these are remarks made by Crystal Knight during a Newsweek episode and an episode of the debate about racial diversity in Hollywood. You can listen to the podcast here. So go on down. So here's what she says. Let's just listen to this here. She says, I don't have all the perfect answers. But what I do know is it's okay to fail. Okay, I can go there. And these major movie houses have plenty of flops. Very true. And they have bounced back. They have, but it's a business, and that's always a struggle, and it always takes a chip out of the industry as a whole. okay, when something like this happens, and we have to take a step back. Now, going back to what she just said there, just go back to the beginning a little bit so that we can kind of just analyze this. I always say, listen with your brain, okay? It's okay to fail. I completely agree. And there are going to be flops in anything that you do. You start a business or anything like that. Every movie is a business. It's pretty much an LLC within itself. And not always do they bounce back. But if you have tenacity and you hang in there, oftentimes things can bounce back. But okay, now go on down. You have to understand that the whole point of this, though, is that these are businesses that are in business to make money. Okay? So when black movies fail, and
here we go,
and the wind up, okay, or minority movies fail, why is this such a harder thing for those actors and producers? Look, man, the whole point here is that you learn from your mistakes. That was what I was alluding to or leading up to. You have a business, you have flops, you have problems, you have issues, you have failures, and you learn. You learn. How do you learn? You take a step back, you do some A/B testing, you evaluate, you see what, you don't just keep trying to shove that square peg into a round hole. That's called doing the same thing over and over again. It is the definition of insanity, and that is what we're trying to get around here. You look at your mistakes and you say, what the hell are we doing wrong here? What can we fix? What do we need to do to change? Yes?
Yep.
Is this not common sense? But anyway. If you're in the industry, in this industry, and we've certainly had our run through this industry, you know that your work is either going to sink or swim or it'll float. Even if it doesn't do the numbers that you thought, it would do, you're still introducing people to a new concept of what it looks like to be a person of color or a white person, woman, I'm sorry, or a black man or a white man. Oh, that's not in there. Or whoever in a different role in society.
As long as you're not a white man.
Yes, so as long as you're not a white man. This isn't racist at all, but anyway.
No, it's diverse.
Of course. This is the true definition of diverse. Anything but a white man. She's saying it doesn't matter if it fails, as long as you're introducing this and shoving this in people's face and keeping people's nose rubbed in this at all times. That's what really matters. That's the important part. Okay? I don't think there's any argument here, right? I don't know how anyone could argue that point. So even if it's sci-fi or even if it's make-believe. So I think if we truly care about creativity, let's go to the creativity. This whole show's about creativity. It's about artists. That's why I love this. Not all creativity is successful. It depends on your definition of successful. Mm-hmm. But if you were talking about monetizing it, which is what I'm thinking in terms of the success of creativity is in terms of the way they're using it here in the industry.
Success would just be finishing it. A lot of times.
It could be. Yes, absolutely. And if you're doing it for yourself and for the people who, are in your immediate circle, and then you plan on shelving it, then success. Okay, that's your thing if it's a hobby or whatever. But this is really talking about a bigger picture here, isn't it? Yep. This is talking about culture. This is talking about society. This is talking about big creativity and how it affects the world. Okay? And look, art does affect the world. So I think if we truly care about creativity, not all creativity is successful, but it doesn't mean that the intended purpose and why it was created was not a win. So I'm okay with movies failing. Oh, are you? Okay. And flopping. Because you know what? There are people who really love some of the worst movies that have ever been produced. Keep going.
I never understood that, but why people like bad movies.
I can't completely disagree with that. Okay, I don't know what this has to do with any of the virtue signaling that she's talking about, but it's true. But let's see if she clarifies it. But there are people who look like me. Is that all it's about? People who look like you. That's the world right now we live in. Okay, All that matters is that people look like me, act like me, think like me, be like me, sound like me, as she says here, who don't want to hear white stories. Those evil white stories. And there are white folks who don't want to hear an Asian story or a black story or an LGBTQ story. You know, I love the way that you, Justin, cannot talk for black people.
Yeah, because Rush Hour was such an awful movie. I love that movie.
I loved Rush Hour.
Yeah.
Dude.
The Asian black movie.
Asian black movie, yeah. I mean, you know what, but it flies in the face of what she's saying here, but you know, like let's just take her at face value here, okay? But you cannot speak for a black woman. You cannot speak for a black woman, but she can speak for you.
Right.
Okay, that's how in tune she is and how out of touch you are. Okay, before my head explodes, okay, she can talk for you, but you cannot talk for her. And that's the way it is. Okay, Asian story, black story, okay, blah, blah, blah.
Well, it's like, let's stop, because, right, why these movies are flopping because white people aren't going to them.
Well,
but are black people not going to them either? Are they not supporting their own films? Is that the real problem?
I don't know. She hasn't taken a step.
Reason why the women's sports sucks because their women aren't buying tickets to the soccer game.
Yes, she is saying here it doesn't matter. See, you're asking a question. You're thinking with your own mind. That's a bad thing to do here. You can't do that. Okay. You have to just
put my emotion hat on.
Yes, exactly. You have to just shut up and listen and let her speak for you, okay? Because you don't want to see a movie that's about Asians or a black story or any of that any more than she wants to see white stories, okay?
What a racist bitch.
You know, I don't like to jump to conclusions like that, Justin.
I don't think that's jumping in.
It's
she said it right here.
But it's wrong to suggest it's as if it's exclusive. Like if you're black, you only want to hear about black stories. Well, if you're like me, you love The Crown. Really insightful. I learned a lot. I used to also live in London, so maybe I have a different perspective about wanting to hear about that story and learn more about it. But let's go down a little bit more. Is she saying anything more here, or can we just? It's not good enough to just say, oh, you know, it's a white show. You can't tell me that in 2022. I don't know what's different about 2022 than 2020 or 1980 or 1870. Or maybe going back there a little bit, things got a little bit more racist. I mean, we did have a thing called the Civil Rights Movement that, changed things a little bit. You know, it's like we never did, though. Right. Okay? So that's Crystal Knight, where she's coming from, on this whole thing. Now you might say to yourself that I would think that this is racist. Well, you know what? Here's my opinion. Listen to every word she is saying, Hollywood, and follow it to the letter. I want you to study what she just said and do exactly what she said to do. Think like she's thinking to the nines. Okay. Now we will continue to have these little $7 million weekends. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the industry will, I'm not going to say what the industry is going to do. I'm not going to make any predictions. I just want you to do exactly what she's doing. Keep virtue signaling. Keep going and replacing every white iconic character in the world with a black woman or such.
Trans,
black. Yes, trans, black. And
black Asian.
Keep doing this. I am actually excited. I when I thought about this, because at first, you have your little emotional response, but then I stepped back and I said, this is a hard lesson that Hollywood needs to learn. And hopefully they don't learn it, because this will bring all of the industry out of Hollywood. And you will offer no competition for anyone who who actually goes out and creates good, quality,
original,
insightful, original, entertainment. where the characters just fit whatever is needed for the story. If they're black or they're white or they're gay or they're woman or they're female or they're, whatever they are, pink with purple polka dots from freaking planet Zython. It doesn't matter. If that's what is needed for the part, that's what we put into the part. And we're just not going to play the game. And you know what's going to happen? People are going to go to the movies again. They're going to go to watch, and they're not going to care if it's created within this Hollywood cabal. They won't care.
Yeah, because it's like, like in Star Wars with the aliens. Like, how did they cast? Why would these people take those roles if they're not aliens? I just can't believe it,
dude.
It is so.
I think they need to shut.
So
that,
wrong.
Yeah. I think they need to shut that down. Okay, right now.
If you're not an alien,
actually, they
you
need
can't
to
play aliens. Like, come on.
Yep, totally. They
Get it
need to
through
get
your head.
they need to get those unions and guilds behind us and stop it right away. Right away. Meanwhile, the rest of us, we're going to make good movies and stories. I'm excited about it. You excited about it, Justin?
Yep.
Keep it up. Keep it up. Loving it. Okay. Speaking of loving it, I'm loving what these artists are doing in Ukraine because they are resisting Russia's war. Okay. Now, these artists that are in there, I'm not really familiar with who they are that they're talking about. It says here, though, even before declaring their independence in 1991, Ukraine has always differentiated their own culture from Russia's. Okay. But what they go into here is that Ukraine has its own culture. And these artists are stepping out and keep going down a little bit here where they kind of go through some of these artists that are in here, and they're stepping out and they're making their voices known, and they're doing it in a creative way. They got a Ukrainian hip hop band trio that fled Kiev to Germany at the start of the war, and so they're putting out a lot of anti-war, Russian, and it's propaganda stuff, but that's okay. That's okay. That's what artists have done forever. You know what I mean? Is you try to create something that's thought-provoking and that draws emotion to make your points relevant and make, and change the world. Art does change the world. There's a reason why they say life imitates art, because it does. And so there are all these, you can go through and read this article, and I was just kind of finding it somewhat interesting. The main point that I wanted to make with the fact that this article exists and that this is being recognized is that art is power and its strength, and it is dangerous in the hands of the wrong kind of people because it is so moving. People tune into these award shows not so much to see the awards and all that, but they want to see the artists. They want to see the art. They want to see what art is being recognized, what's moving the world. And I love it when I see something like this where people are taking, they're not taking up arms, but you can take up arms. I will take up arms if I have to.
The pen is stronger than the sword.
But the pen is stronger than the sword. Exactly. The brush is stronger than the sword. The guitar pick is stronger than the sword. Mm-hmm. I mean, whatever it is that you do, whatever it may, the voice is stronger than the sword. Get out there and make your voice known. Now, this is kind of more of a conservative leaning podcast. I'd call it a common sense way of thinking. I'm not.
You mean conservative?
What did I say?
Well, it's common sense conservative.
I am not. I see things that are screwed up on both sides. There's certainly. I think the conservatives are completely toothless right now. Okay, and the whole.
Some are, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty weak, and they're a lot of talk and no action. They have been for a while. They are. I've heard some analogies made where they're all part of the same thing. It's like you got different teams that play football, but they're all part of the NFL. Mm-hmm. Okay, and the NFL makes money off all of them. This is the way that it is. Politicians should not be going into office making three figures and coming out multi millionaires. Okay, that just should not be happening. Okay.
Yeah, like the Arizona governor only makes like 90. Let's just round around 95,000 a year. So
yes, it's corrupt. It's all this corruption, and that's what artists should be bringing to the front. Not fighting with each other. Not drawing division between two different sides of thinking. If you're thinking common sense, then I don't see the problem. Now, if you're just getting emotional and whacked out and not making any sense whatsoever, you lose me. Go someplace else. You're lost already. There's nothing you will find here from Justin and I. Nothing for you. Sorry. So, think. And then put it into your art and make a point that moves people. And so, yeah. That's and I feel to a certain degree, dude, since there is so much leftism in the art world, in the creative world right now, that they are part of the destruction of America instead of the building of America. I'm saying, you think with some common sense, bring some unity back to this country instead of trying to divide it and destroy it. If that is your mission and that is what you're after, and you want to destroy half of America and bury them someplace in a hole deep, deep in the ground, you are part of the problem and you are destructive. And the problem is you got a lot of power, and that bothers me. I'm trying to make people who have some common sense step out there and come back on that, but in a unified way. With some common sense.
Biden said, what did he say? He likes everybody except for those semi-fascist MAGA people. He's like so bringing everyone together, unifying.
Yes, we all need to come together
everyone.
And destroy. We need to unify and destroy those MAGA people. Yeah,
the semi-fascists now. We're not just fascists. We've reduced down to semi-fascists.
It's all the language, dude. It's the changing of the languages. It's the way that they manipulate minds. Mm-hmm. I want people to think that's all right. I think it's a good thing to lay it's a good foundation to lay this podcast on. Common sense. That's all. But you guys ought to feel real proud of yourselves. Real proud of yourselves because you've chased Ozzy away. Okay? Chased him right out of the country. He's saying, I'm moving back. I'm moving back to England. I'll try to make it good. I'll do my best Ozzy impression. The sheriff, we're moving back to the UK to this epidemic of mass shootings like that. We're all to die in America. How about that? No? I don't know. Is he overreacting, Justin?
Australia, not Australian, but
is it?
Austria in there, I think.
What is it? I am just terrible at doing impressions and also accents.
But you'll keep trying.
But I'll keep trying. That doesn't stop me. Won't stop me one bit. Is he overreacting, Justin?
I think so.
Okay.
Like, why would he be afraid of guns? Is he in a gang? Is he causing problems? Is he going to a school? I don't know.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I think maybe he's not. He's saying that because he kind of wants to stay in kind of the leftist camp, but he's thinking to himself, "Oh man, these riots that have been going on," and you kind of reading the writing on the wall.
Peaceful exit to get out of this Biden country.
Yes. Well, and two sides that are just
And
warring
his
right
taxes
now.
go up.
He's look, he's in the thick of the art world.
Mm-hmm.
He can see this. He can see things that are happening in the entertainment industry in a way that things are dividing so much. Okay, because this does reflect the actual world. It is pop culture.
Like, wasn't his Sharon and Kelly? They were on The View, weren't they, at one point?
I think so.
They
Yeah,
were
I
on
think
that
Kelly.
Stupid crap.
Yeah.
They're all
So
brainwashed and retarded.
and it's kind of sad because, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Ozzy can leave the country if he wants to. It's no skin off my nose, but I just like Ozzy. I met Ozzy one time.
Right.
I mean, it was at a record signing years and years ago, and he was shaking everybody's hand, very friendly and everything like that. I mean, this guy just didn't care, man. He's just right in the thick of it and stuff, and he was already getting kind of old. I was young. I was probably early 30s, maybe, and no, good dude. I've always been a fan.
Yeah,
Okay.
I used to be obsessed.
Isn't Paranoid like one of the first songs that people start to learn on the guitar, and they're first learning electric guitar? Paranoid, like Ozzy is right now. Paranoid as hell. He never knew that was going to
It was come back.
That was going to come back. He was writing some deep lyrics there. But yeah, I like Paranoid. Crazy Train.
The Crazy Train back to England.
I learned the first song I learned on the piano, as a matter of fact, was "Mama, I'm Coming Home."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
But yeah, it's a thing. People are leaving. Not all the people left when they said that Trump was going to become president. Remember, everyone said, "I'm going to leave the country." At least Ozzy, when he says he's leaving, I'm leaving. He's out of here
because of gun violence that doesn't exist.
Yes, exactly.
Why don't you buy a gun, Ozzy?
Yeah. Well,
again,
I don't think it's necessarily that. I think he's just saying that there's going to be, people have talked about civil war. Okay, Tim Cass talks about this incessantly. Okay, there will be something will come about. I don't know if that's what it'll be. I don't know if there'll be, some kind of divorce between states that kind of split up, which will still end in some kind of a conflict. No doubt about it. There will be conflicts. I've said oftentimes, this is a little off the subject, but I've said, what if, Trump becomes president? There'll be riots. If Trump doesn't become president, there'll be riots. I mean, it's hard to see any way out of this unless, as creatives, as artists, as people who really can move the industry and a little bit, come together and say, look, we need unity. We need to stop the madness. We need to stop the craziness. But this is part of why I think the media is so leftist, is because they know that people who are emotional, that lose their fucking minds over all this shit, make news and get eyeballs. They get attention. People who think with a straight, common sense way of thinking, that's boring. Doesn't sell. Doesn't sell your commercials.
Nope.
So that's why they're all on board with this. Let's bring a war. Bring it all on. Bring on. That's sitting there watching night after night, all these people burning stuff and rioting and all that. That sells. Keeps the eyeballs on those commercials. Builds the bottom line. See it for what it is, guys. Anyway.
Yeah, I think it's Sharon's idea here.
What's that?
Sharon Osbourne, the former talk host, co-host 69, who started alongside her husband on their family's early aughts MTV reality show. The Osbournes has told the paper, it's just time.
America's drastically changed so drastically, she continued, it isn't the United States of America at all. There's some truth in that. Go back here. Hold on.
Oh. At
all. Nothing united about it. It's a very weird place to live in right now. Can anybody argue with that? I can speak out, but I don't want to necessarily divide. I don't want to see anyone destroyed, taken out. I think it's good to have two different perspectives. I think it's good to have two different parties. But when you have one party that's saying, no, we must destroy the other party, you leave that party who is being attacked with no other options. And that is terrible. And as creatives and artists, we need to be hyper aware of that we can move the world, that we can make a difference. Yeah, people can make fun of me all they want and say, Ben, you're hyping up creatives and artists way too much. Like hell. People are afraid. Like Ozzy, like Sharon, like many others. They're just examples of what we're seeing. People wanting to get out, people wanting to escape, people not knowing what to do. Escaping the last bastion of freedom. I got news for you. When we go, it all goes. Where are you going to go? Everyone looks to America to see how they're going to behave and perform next. I mean, they pick up things. This whole BLM movement that started here, it all transferred over to the UK all over the world, even though it all began from supposedly the idea that there was slavery in this country. That's where it originated from, the idea that there needs to be reparations and that there was that there is an understanding that there could be an underlying, it's really an excuse, but an underlying seed to where this country began, where its roots began. It needs to be buried. And we covered it in the civil rights movement, and afterward there was a big movement to make things equal, to even things out, even the playing field everywhere. There was no discrimination, to end all discrimination legally. Now they're wanting to end it in everyone's minds. But this is where are you going to go? Where are you going to go to escape the authoritarians? Justin?
You can't. There's really nowhere to go.
No place. That's right. Mexico? Think you're going to go to Mexico? They're already breaking down what's going to happen with Mexico? It's going to be absorbed by the United States. They're already breaking down they're doing, at least the authoritarians, all the socialist authoritarians are trying to just dissolve that. Okay? And that'll be that. Same with Canada. Who knows what's going to happen there? But let me tell you, I don't think I want to find out. I don't want to
be
think
gone
about
before that happens.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I bet Ozzy gets knifed in England. Won't be hilarious. Run away from the guns to go get knifed.
The only one who would love that is the media. Okay, they would eat that up. But
well, I don't know if they would eat it up because it doesn't really help their argument against guns.
Well, no, it wouldn't. It would be against a violence. It would make headlines. It wouldn't matter. They don't care about guns. It's not the guns.
Well, the guns, they want to get guns out of your hands so that you don't have a gun to protect yourself.
I'm not sure I understand and will ever understand that mentality, that thought. When you can look through history and see how many times that has gone south, how that's always the first move to complete authoritarian, socialist and control, domination, complete domination over the people. That is always a step that is taken before that happens. Always. Did I say something? No, always, every time. But this is why I say you've got to, I don't want to talk to a bunch of dumb artists. I want to talk to smart artists. I want to talk to informed artists. I want you guys to get out there. Don't be lazy. Don't be apathetic. Don't be, don't be too eager to rush out there and be violent or anything like that either. Be patient. Let things take their course a little bit too, but be highly aware. Don't be afraid. Don't hate. Don't create hate. Don't create hateful situations. You can hate people who are destructive. Yes. But to cause this division and this aggression and all of that, to me, that is destructive in every way. And coming back to what we talked about in the beginning, you cannot be grateful and destroy at the same time. Okay? You cannot be grateful and be hateful at the same time. You cannot be grateful and be a victim at the same time. So these are just things that don't. That's like saying, I hate food, but I'm a chef. You cannot be an artist and hate people, hate the world, hate America, create division, and destroy things and all of that. You got to be grateful. And grateful, you know what grateful is I'm going to sound kind of gay a little bit when I'm saying this, but grateful, it is on the foundation of the only emotion that there should be, and that is love. You love things, you're grateful. When you're grateful, you love it, and this all comes back to you. Be passionate, be driven, work hard. Again, I say, don't be apathetic about things, and be happy and grateful and content and all that. I'm just coming back to that word because I love it so much. When you are grateful, so much will come back to you. Be grateful for this country. It's the greatest country on earth. People are trying to destroy it. People are trying to divide us and kill this. Like they would kill this podcast. There's going to be people that watch this podcast and go, I don't like what he said. I'm going to do what I can to make things difficult for them. They're doing it all over the place. Don't call yourself an artist. Don't call yourself grateful. Don't call yourself part of the problem, or part of the solution, I should say. You are part of the problem. For sure. And I think that's all I got, Justin. What do you got? Okay. Justin says, hey, make sure and show your merch there. The Midnight American mug. It says Midnight American, and then know yourself better than you know anyone else on the other side. And we do have we have a website that you can go over to. It's called midnightamerican.com. We got music, films, podcasts, all kinds of things over there that you can check out. You can see what Justin and I have been involved with for years. And then also we do have merch over there, hats, mugs, T-shirts, all of that kind of stuff. And it would help out the show if you purchase them. And they're cool. They're good. They got good sayings on them and good art and all of that. Plus, we do have a Patreon account as well if you want to help support the show. And that is it. Right on. Say adios, Justin.
Adios.
All right, guys.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Until next time, know yourself better than you know anyone else.